this class, I would like us to see how we can actually find a quadratic equation when given the roots of that equation. Now, I've already solved two questions already using factorization method. The first question was x squared minus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. And the second question was 6x squared minus 7x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now, in the first equation, we got minus 2 and minus 5 as the answers, as our root of that equation. Now, let me explain something to you here. For every quadratic equation you're going to solve, you're going to get two answers. That's x is equal to and x is equal to, two answers. They are known as roots. So for that first equation that we solved, that's x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. Our answer, the answers that we got for that equation as root of that equation at the time was minus 2 and minus 5. So minus 2 and minus 5 are roots of that equation. Now, let me coin this question now. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are minus 2 and minus 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this. But before we can solve this, let me explain something to you. There are two methods you can use to construct a quadratic equation. Now, I've been given two roots, minus 5 and minus 2, right? Fine, there's no problem, but note the formulas. There are two formulas. The first formula is x minus a in brackets, x minus b is equal to 0. Now, this formula you can use. Now, note that a and b in this formula are roots. So, a and b are roots. So, you can use this formula to find a quadratic equation. You can use this formula to find a quadratic equation, but you have to note that a is one of the roots and b is also the other root. The second method you can use to solve is x squared minus open bracket sum of roots close bracket, then you put your x. Then plus open bracket product of roots close bracket is equal to 0. So those are the two methods you can use. So now we have our roots minus 2 and minus 5. Let's use the first method to solve, and then we're going to still use the second method to solve it. Now, since we know our roots are minus 2 and minus 5, let's go ahead and use the x minus a in bracket, x minus b in bracket is equal to 0 to solve. Now, we already know that minus 2 and minus 5 are roots. So we'll now insert our minus 2 and our minus 5 in this simple formula, right? Okay, so let's go ahead now. So we have our x minus a in bracket and then x minus b in bracket is equal to 0. So minus 2 is the first root. So we have x minus open bracket minus 2 close bracket, close bracket. Then you now open another bracket and we now say what? X minus open bracket minus 5 close bracket, then close bracket is now equal to 0. Now, what we have simply done is we removed our a and b and we now inserted our minus 2 and our minus 5. So for the first one there, we have x minus minus 2. Now, x minus minus 2 is x plus 2. The second one, we have x minus minus 5. X minus minus 5 is x plus 5. So right now, we have x plus 2 in bracket, x plus 5 in bracket is equal to 0. Okay. So at this point now, we can continue to break this down to get our what? Our quadratic equation. So let's expand this. Now, how do we expand this? It's very, very simple. Pick out the x and 2 in the first bracket and use them in turns to multiply the entity of the second bracket. So now the expression of that second bracket will have to take turns to multiply these other numbers from the first bracket. So we have x, pick x, put x down. Then you have x times x plus 5. Then you pick out your plus 2 now, you write it down. Then you now multiply that by what? X plus 5 also is equal to 0.